And we're live.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, I
Um,
thought you were going to introduce everything, Cal.
Welcome to Paranormal Versus. I'm Kel Ridley, and my co-host is Michael Koff. And tonight we have special guest Andy Booth with us.
Hello.
Michael's going to introduce Andy, so take it away, Michael.
So, Andy is my good friend from the UK. He is the host of Flying Solo and now the host by himself of the 12th Dimension. So, kudos to you for that. He has UFO experiences and connection with the UFOs. He likes sky watching and is a paranormal investigator. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Did I miss anything?
No, I don't know. No, you've not. No, it's all good.
Cool. So we've got some questions to ask you then, Andy.
Yes.
So we'll just jump straight in with the usual. So if you can tell me, apart from what Michael's added there, what do you do? And a bit about your show.
So I started off at this level going out doing live investigations. Usually in the area where I live, or within about 30 minutes, and then I I was doing that like in the warmer months, and then I'm just reading one of the comments. It's not funny. Um, so I started doing that, and then as it got cold, it's like I don't want to. I was kind of in the middle of lockdown as well during COVID, so there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to do but couldn't do. So it's like I need to keep the channel going. So what do I need to do? So someone suggested getting guests on. So then started doing that. So the first year, we're into the third year now of 12th Dimension. It's changed names about, well, 3 times. So originally it was Codes of the Paranormal. Then I changed it to Codes of the Unknown. And then I just wanted to completely move away from that. And I was doing a stream one night and someone mentioned about how there is 11 dimensions. And straight away I just thought, no, I'm going to make the 12th dimension. And then literally, I'm going to make the channel the 12th dimension. It was that step.
Yeah.
So the first year was more going out investigating. The second year was more having guests on. This year was going to be guests and investigating and mixing the two up. But due to things that have gone on over the last few weeks, that's not really going to be happening now. Still going to go out investigating, but they're going to be pre-recorded and going to put them out as premieres.
Right.
So the main objective now is going to be same as you guys are doing tonight. Is just podcast host. I call it podcast hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just interviewing people because I've never really seen myself as a researcher because I don't go out and research stuff. I'll go out and investigate, but I do that for myself. And then when I started doing it on the channel, it's for the viewers so they can see what I'm doing. So what I do when I'm on screen was pretty much what I used to do, but obviously without the camera. I used to have a torch and like the spirit box app on your phone. They're
Yeah.
not very good, but you've got to start somewhere, and that's it really. And then I just built up the equipment, so I've got night vision, got IR lights, and all that kind of stuff. So I
Yeah.
can set up indoor, outdoor, and all that. But now it's going to be the pre-records on. Well, 99% are going to be pre-recorded, but I'm going to be more. It's going to be more hosting and interviewing people, and without being I don't well, without being too lazy, I should say. Like I said, I don't class myself as a researcher because I don't go out. I don't do any research. The only research I do is the internet or YouTube. I've never
Right.
said that I go out. There's these people that go traveling the world doing research, like you got Steve Mera, George Mitrovic, um, they're just two that I can think of off the top of my head. They actually go out traveling and they go looking at these places and doing all these different, like staying over at Skinwalker. Like Andrew Collins went there for like, I think it was 5-6 days, and he stayed over. To me, that's proper field research where you're out there and you're doing it.
Uh-huh.
But
Are you talking about Skinwalker Ranch or the Skinwalker Caves?
That Skinwalker Ranch.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So
that would be amazing.
to me, that's research. That's real research. So that's why I don't class myself as a researcher.
Right.
But now it's like I'm going to be sat in a nice warm house talking to people that go out and actually do that, and I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. Unlike me the other night, it was -5 when we done our investigation, and it says it felt like -9, and there's me in ripped jeans and just a little thin hoodie. So yeah, that would be probably better.
Yeah, you're British tough.
Well, I'm Northern as well. You see, us Northerners, we don't wear jackets. We don't know the meaning of the word, so.
Yeah, I've only got this to cover my worktop, so.
I didn't even have that. That's how stupid I am. But like I was telling everybody else that was shivering, that was there. And they're going like, "Why are you not cold?" It's like, well, I've worked on the doors for 20 years, so I'm used to being freezing cold. So it doesn't bother us. But so I was going to ask, so what actually got you into the paranormal to start with, anyway?
I've always been into it as far back as I can remember, from being 3 years old. So I've had encounters from around about being 3 up till pretty much present day.
Wow. So what was the encounter that you had? Can you remember?
The first one?
Yeah.
So that was, I was around between 3 and 5. I can't say the exact age. I used to share a bedroom with my brother, and the back of the house, it was just fields. There's no light coming in from anywhere. The next street down was kind of like at an angle. So the old orange street lights, that wouldn't even get to the window, let alone come in and reflect on the wall. So my bed was up against the wall that was on where the hallway is. And at the foot of the bed was the door into the bedroom. So I'm laying in bed with my back facing the window. So I'm facing the wall. And there's two. So the only way I can describe it is, on the record player on the old turntable, and you're listening to vinyl, and the light hits it as a record's going around, and it bounces the light up on the wall, and it does like the same pattern over and over.
Yeah.
It's like there's one of them on the wall. And I was just, there's no record player. This is like 1978, 79.
Right.
So there's literally 2 beds, like chest of drawers and a wardrobe for me and brother. That, and like kid bait, like toddler toys. You know what I mean? There's nothing electrical in there other than the light. That was it. And I was just watching this thing just bouncing, like it's just moving about on the wall in the same position. And then I just fell asleep watching it. Never seen it again. But then I found a picture of these light beams on the internet a while ago, and it's exactly the same as one of them.
Wow. So do you think it was like paranormal or like UFO activity type of thing, or?
I didn't even think about it. It didn't faze me out. I didn't get scared or anything like that. I just mesmerized by it. And then I didn't think of it, because to everything, I've said this before, but all like the paranormal stuff, to me it just seems normal. Like, you just accept it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I've never not known paranormal stuff not happening.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to ask that question then, Michael? That's in the comments.
Well, before that, there was a comment from Nickname that said, "Can Andy show his Mothman?"
Oh, yes. Oh, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
The way it's sad, but I don't care. It is geeky. So that's inside my PC.
Wow.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
At least he's with good company with Danger Mouse.
So he's got a werewolf, 2 yetis, a Bigfoot, and Danger Mouse.
So nickname says asking me about his nearly accounts.
I was hoping you was going to pass on this one. Do you really want to know this one? Seriously, I'll tell you. It's. I said it as a joke, but the story behind it wasn't. So what happened? I drive for a living, and I was driving out to southeast of England because I normally do Suffolk, Norfolk, and Essex. So it's like southeast coast. And I was going down these country lanes, and I just seen a big black animal in a field, and there's like some hedgerow, and there's like trees all the way around, and I thought it was a big puma or something. You know, the big cats.
Right.
It is a big dog. And obviously, at the time, I didn't know it was a dog. I didn't see anyone with it. So as I come round the bend, this was like a black Great Dane. So that's how big it was. So as I'm driving, and you just clock something out the corner of your eye.
Right.
And yeah, it was that. And then I seen a woman shouting it over, and it ran back. Oh, it's a dog. So on the stream, I said, "Oh, I nearly seen a big cat." Right, having a laugh, and no one's let me live it down. It's just that was about 6-7 months ago, and they always bring it up. I should have just said I thought I saw a big cat, but it wasn't. It was a dog.
Oh,
So
you gotta love the
that was my nearly, because I nearly seen one. Yeah. So
Joe is asking, we were talking about this before backstage about your remote viewing you had done.
Yes. So this was only done yesterday. So on 12th Dimension, the guest yesterday was Jessica Jones. I'm guessing you guys have heard of her or not.
I have.
Yeah. So she's over in. I can't remember where she's in America anyway, and she does about 3 or 4 different shows, and she does a lot of remote viewing. And so it's the second time she was on, and when I asked her if she wanted to come back on, I also said, being a bit cheeky, said, "Is there any chance you could do a remote view for me?" So she goes, "Yeah, just send me like postcode, zip code, and roughly what the year and what time of that year it was." And it was very, it's in Georgia. It was very, so I sent her the year, but then the period in that year was like a 4-month time scale. So when she come on last night before we went live, she said, "Oh, I've got some information for you and data for you. I did the remote viewing this morning, and I've got some info." And then she started telling me what had gone on. So what happened was, so I'd asked her about, have I been in contact with ETs or UFOs? Because I know I've seen them, but so I need to go back a bit to my first UFO encounter. I don't know if you've heard this before, Michael. I know a lot of people in the chat will have done. But I was about 7 years old. It was Saturday afternoon. It was raining. So none of my mates, it'd been raining, sorry, and I'd got a bike for Christmas. So it's probably about March, April. So I just wanted to go and ride around in the puddles on my bike, as you do. And so the rules were, if it starts raining again, you got to come in. If you get hungry, obviously come in. If you're out longer, come in before it goes dark, because at that time it goes dark about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I can't remember what time it was. If it was to guess at a time, I'd say 12 midday to 1 o'clock. So it was like early afternoon. And then I'd gone down to the next street, stopped in the car, and I looked up, and there's like a 2-tone UFO directly above me, probably about 200 foot above my head.
Wow.
Oh, excuse me. There's no noise coming from it. I don't know what made me look up. I don't know. I just looked up. And then so I'm sat on my bike like that. looking straight up, and then my neck started to hurt. So you put your head down like that, look back up, nothing there. Now this is a thing. It is related to what Jess said yesterday. I could have been there for 2 minutes. I could have been there for 2 hours. Could have been 15 minutes. I don't know. I had no idea. Didn't have a watch on. There's no one else was about. None of my mates were out. Nothing. So because of that, I don't know if anything happened regarding that UFO. So when Jess was telling me yesterday, she said that I am being observed by ETs. That's the feeling and impression she was getting. And you have bouts of missing time, not just one or two, but you've got quite a few accounts of missing time. That is the only one that I can. That's the only thing that's happened in my life where I could, if I was to pinpoint, if anything had happened, it would have been then. Anything else, not got a clue, no idea. I don't recall anything, any missing time. Don't recall being taken. I've had dreams that felt like they were real, and I've been taken into a craft and was flying around in space and stuff like that. Whether they're part of it, I really don't know. But then she said that I've either got an implant, I've had an implant, or I'll be getting an implant, and it's more than one. I'm sure she said it's more than one. Might be wrong on that. But a few years ago, when I first moved down south, when I was living in Milton Keynes, don't know why this happened, not got a clue. I just woke up in the middle of the night, say 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just felt something in my nose. I literally had my hand inside the nostril, and I pulled out a little piece of plastic, a little tube, hollow. Probably it was about 3 millimeters thick, and the gap in the middle was about 1 millimeter. My hands were covered in blood. It's like a little white, it might have been white or transparent. And when you're that tired, I'll put it on the side. And I don't know why I would do this though. I didn't even get up to wash my hands and wash the blood off or anything. I just went straight back to sleep. I know I've told this encounter story, whatever you want to call it, before, but thinking about it now, maybe me going straight back to sleep had something to do with it. Because I leant over, put it on the bedside unit, fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, it wasn't there. There's no blood on me, no blood on my face. You know when you can smell dry blood, like when if you've had a nosebleed or anything like that, you can smell the blood, can't you?
Yeah.
Nothing. There's no smell of it. It would have been all over my pillowcase, possibly on the coat cover. It was definitely on my hands. Nothing there. Nothing else. So whether that was put back in, whether it was taken, whether could I have been taken and they've put a new one in, I don't know. I don't remember. So
it's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to get my head around all this. I understand what's happened. I don't understand why, this did happen, why it happened. And I'm still trying to connect the dots to it all and work out what, not what's next, but what I need to do for myself, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
So if this is a real thing that has really happened to me, it's getting your head around it.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
I won't say scary. It is.
It's a little scary.
Yeah, I'd be pretty scared.
Yeah. So, but it's not scary, because I think now because I've been told it's happened. If it had been anybody else, I think that said, "Oh, this has happened, that's happened to you," I'd have been, "Yeah, right, whatever." But because she does this, she's been doing it 11 years. She does it for fun, and she helps with the missing 411 and missing people and bodies and that. So she finds them. So if she can find them and things like that and other stuff that's gone on, why would this not be correct as well? So I do believe her. I do believe what she's saying is true.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I do have a twist that I could possibly throw into it for you, Andy.
Go on.
They might have, when they were, talking with you when you were up there, might have triggered a memory when in the past you pulled it out of your nose and were covered in blood. And that's why when you went to sleep, there was no blood when you woke up, is because you were remembering taking something out at a different time
No,
and they were showing you the memory of it.
but it felt real.
No, I know. I mean, in like
Yeah,
one of
yeah, yeah.
those
No, I get what
lucid
you're saying.
dreams. Yeah.
But this is a bit that I don't understand. So with what you've just said, and they're showing a memory, how it feels real, yet it's not real. It's like, straight away it contradicts itself, but I know it can happen, and that's what I can't get my head around.
Yeah, because I've had instances where I've had dreams like I've remember things from when I was younger, and it feels like it just literally happened. It's like
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like, wait, no, it didn't happen because everything's fine.
yeah.
But the mind emerges you in that dream, and like it's like you're reliving that moment.
But then with you saying that, I'm thinking if that was like a screen, is it screen memory? Is that what they call it?
That sounds familiar. It sounds
Yeah,
like
I'm sure someone in the chat will put me right if I'm wrong. So what if that was a memory that they were showing me of taking it out? I believed that I've had it taken out, but if I've been taken and they've actually put a new one in, but I'm in the mindset that I woke up and they took it out, so it's not there anymore because I've not checked since. So Michael just threw that bombshell at me.
I'm good at that.
But yeah, it's screen memory. Yeah. So could it be that? I don't know. I think I don't know because, like I said, because when I asked Jess, before she told me, she goes, "I think you kind of know what I'm going to say anyway." But with what she did say, I wasn't expecting the full outcome. I wasn't expecting to say that I'm constantly being observed, that they are watching. And then she mentioned about cameras and lights. There's a lot of lights and cameras going on around me. And then the last phrase that she used was, for me, the message she got was to take action. So is that take action for myself? Take action to do something about it, to spread it about? Take action to stop what I'm doing, carry on what I'm doing, try and contact them? I don't know. But I think I know it's going to be a long, slow process. Trying to work out what's going on. I might never ever find out. But I think if I do it slowly and gradually and just do a little bit at a time, then maybe I might be able to piece everything together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then in the next breath, do I really want to find out what's gone on?
You know, that's the catch-22.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I want to
not
know, but I
knowing.
don't want to know.
Sometimes not knowing is better than knowing.
Yeah, it's like, well, what could it open up for you to remember, sort of thing?
Yeah.
It's like, do you really want to remember what's happened?
That's it.
Pretty scary. Do you not think your first experience that you were just talking about before could have possibly been them? Like, obviously, because do we know that they're actually like physical or they're made out of energy or?
He mentioned to me that he may have a glitch with his computer where he may drop out for a moment.
That's quite okay.
But
Certainly interesting though.
It is, and this actually gives us a chance that in the chat, Nickname has a question to all of us, and I'm sure Andy's asked this already, so you and I can answer. Is the top case account that got us hooked?
With me, it's basically since I was 9 years old when I seen my first apparition. But then I seen another one. It was only, I would say, about 10 years ago. 10 or 12. No, actually, it was 12 years ago. Tell a lie. In my old tattoo studio. So that was a full-on apparition that I seen, and I thought I was going crazy. So after that, I joined a team, and that's what got me hooked. What about you, Michael?
For me, I kind of grew up around it all the time, and so, but what got me hooked into investigations would be when I was, I want to say, at Nazareth Hospital, which is no longer able to be investigated, but I had apparitions that I seen there that I couldn't explain. I had stuff growl at me. I had cabinet doors open and close. And yes, there was a window broken, but there was like 3 sets of uppers and only one would open and close. So explain that. And so that's what really got me truly hooked in, is when I started witnessing stuff and hearing like doors close and I couldn't ever figure out which door it was. That got me into it to where I was like, yeah, there's something to all of this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Welcome back, anyway, Andy.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's all right. So go ahead.
So we're just talking about, obviously, the last thing we're talking about is whether you think that thing when you were 3-year-old might have been the light being. What do you actually think that these are? Do you think that
now with what I found out yesterday, I think that thing that's seen on the wall, it was a light being.
Yeah.
Because then it was only a couple. I said, say it was 5 years old. It was only like 2-3 years later when I seen the UFO above my head. And then there's a few other weird things, but not UFO related, that went on around there. So I don't think they were connected to what went on. But now I believe that light being had something to do with the UFO.
Right.
I really do.
Wow. So what is your scariest experience that you've ever had, either with the paranormal or the UFOs?
Scariest one's quite funny, because this was at the same house where the light being was.
Right.
So my mum's house, like the house that I grew up in, the front of the house, you have the front door, stairs going upstairs, and like a pantry room, like a little cloakroom. Back of the house, the living room, the kitchen, the bedrooms. And then upstairs, bathroom was at the side of the house, and the toilet was separate at the front. Now, as you go into the back garden down the side of the house, there's a massive garden. It's about 70 foot wide and about 150 foot long, at least. So we used to play a lot like with Action Men and tanks and all that kind of stuff, me and my older brother. And then there's one day, there's me, brother, and the lad who lived 2 doors away. And we sat there. I was probably about 7 or 8 again. And we were talking about ghost stories, because we used to watch, remember Arthur C. Clarke?
Yeah.
It used to be on, I think it was Sunday evening.
I don't know. I can't remember. I remember watching it. Yeah.
Watching it all the time.
Yeah.
So the lad who lived next door, he had a lot of the Unexplained magazines, and a lot of the stuff in it was like Arthur C. Clarke, what he'd done. And we just sat in the garden, and we had a big gate between the house and the fence, so you can't just walk in. But that was the only way, because it was a semi-detached house. It was the only way to get into the back garden without going through the house. So I sat there, and I don't know if it was my brother or his mate said, "What would you do now if the back gate just suddenly swung open?" I swear to God, the moment he said it, it swung open. It had 2 big fat deadbolts, one across the top, one across the bottom, and you know the hook and eye lock?
Yeah.
Had one of them on it as well.
Wow.
And we ran to the bottom of the garden, because at the bottom of the garden, you go through the fence and you get on the fields and that at the back. And then we came back eventually, about 5 minutes later, and I think my mum had gone shopping or something. and my dad was at work. We'd gone back and we checked the bolts. The bolts hadn't been pulled out. They'd opened while they were still in the thing, but they didn't pull. I don't know what you call them, what the bolt slides into, like the U thing.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't pulled off the door. They weren't pulled off the frame.
Wow.
So the bolts were still out where they couldn't have been without pulling the locky bits off. I'll call them locky bits because I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there was
good thing
nothing. There
you
was
did.
nothing behind it neither when it
Nothing.
opened.
No, it was just a
Wow.
big gust of wind. And the thing the street that we lived in, there's only 10 houses. So even if it was a gust of wind, it wouldn't have got there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just not that type of. The street was too narrow, too short.
Wow.
Yeah, it just, unless we manifested it, I don't know what it was. It didn't say
Possibility.
anything. Well, we didn't hang about to look, so I don't know. But yeah, I think that was the one that had me out racing.
Yeah, I can imagine it would.
Yeah. So we have a question in the chat room that has piqued my interest. Space Cadet Lottie is asking, can Andy speak about his pterodactyl sighting?
Yeah. This is probably one of my most exciting things that I've ever seen, because we're told that they used to exist and they're extinct. We don't have them anymore. But
Right.
to see one in the south of England on, say, a Tuesday night about 10:30, 11 o'clock, just fly over, yeah, it was awesome. So where I used to live, like I say, I used to live in Milton Keynes. At the back of the house is the A5. It's called Watling Street. It runs, however, through London and all the way up.
Yeah.
And if you stand in a certain part of the garden there, where I had the shed and where the roof of the house is, you can block out all street lights. So then when you're looking at the stars in the sky on a clear night, there's no lights drowning the natural light out. So I stood watching the stars and that. And I think I was just about to go back in because I was getting a bit cold. So I'm facing the house, and then I just seen something there in the corner of my eye. And I looked up, and I just watched it fly. It wasn't going fast, it was probably moving like that.
More like
So I
a
watched it
glide.
till it went out of sight, say, at a guess, 20 seconds-ish, until I couldn't see it. And didn't flap its wings, didn't fly off course, didn't breathe, didn't move its head. It was like it's a solid, like this remote, it just like that was going through the sky.
Wow.
There's no movement from it other than it going, than going in a straight line. And I thought I'd seen a dragon. Do you know when you don't know what you've seen and you're trying to find it? So I ran in the house, went straight on the computer, YouTube, Google, whatever. I'm typing in dragon. Couldn't, and then I kind of like got distracted. This is about 2-3 hours later. I'm just start watching videos on these supposed dragons in like Japan and China and up in the Himalayas. And then it was about 3 years ago. I was on Facebook, and this picture come up. And if I hadn't been sat down, I'd have fell over. It's obviously it's a CGI or computer animated image of what I'd seen. So I could only see the underbelly, but from looking up at an angle from it, so say 45 degrees. So I could see the head, could see the thing, I don't know what you call it, the crest that comes from the back of the head.
The horn, maybe?
Long pointy thing.
Yeah.
Sure, it's about a crest. I could just about see that. Then the neck, the underbelly, the wings. So it was like the wings were like bat wings. So the top bit, where you had the hands that come out there, at the bottom you've got the, I don't know what them bits are called. Not very good at telling stories. Not when I don't know the name of something. And then
Okay, you're doing well.
yeah, and then you had the rest of it, and then the tail. You had the tail going, and then it was the thing that got me the most was the diamond. Joe, it's got the diamond bit on the end, like when a lion's got that fluff ball on the end of its tail.
Yeah.
That's what did it for me. I think if you hadn't seen that, I'd have thought, oh no, it's some sort of drone or something like that. But then working it out, because obviously I'd go back a few nights later, like each night or what have you, around about the same time and keep looking, but never seen anything again. It was roughly, I'd say, about 24 foot long. Average, I guess, about a 16-foot wingspan.
Wow.
And I put it on Facebook. One of my mates went, "Was it a kite?" I'm like, "Well, if it was a kite, whoever had hold of it must have had at least half a mile of string, like pulling it across." But it was flying like it was on a pulley. Do you know what I mean? But then I spoke to someone about it, and they do the research, and like when they speak to someone, they go and investigate and all that. And he'd said that he's had a lot of accounts like that, and it's exactly the same. They don't move, they don't flap the wings because they get into a thermal drift, and just once they're in it, then they don't have to use any energy to keep going. But then I'm thinking, because it was at night, how much stuff is there at night that we don't see because we're not looking up?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And it was, I'd say, I'm just trying to. So, colour of my wallet, you can tell it's not quite black. It's like really dark brown. So it's like that against the night sky. So do you know what? Obviously, without the shine on it, you can.
Yeah,
you can
it
see
easily
the difference.
disappears.
And that's what caught my eye. That moving. So, yeah.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, you don't really see much. I mean, the streetlights block out a lot of the sky as well. You know, like obviously the glare of them. So,
yeah.
do you want to ask that one then, Michael?
What?
So, nickname has one for you, Andy. Top weird case for me is Andy being watched by the trio in the portal, cloaked ship. Can you ask him to talk about them?
I could, but I don't know what she means by the trio.
Well, then let's talk about the portal and cloaked ship because
Right,
that
so I can
sounds
talk about
really interesting.
Yeah. So that one. So I finished work. It was a Friday afternoon. Where I used to work, we finished early on a Friday. It was about 12, 15 miles away from where I work to where I live. So it'd take about 25 minutes, half an hour to get home. So I'm driving down, and there's a oh yeah, I know what she means now. That's right. And driving down is like there's a spur that comes off the motorway, off the what you call a freeway, and then you don't have hard shoulders, do you, Michael?
We have some, but not a lot.
Yeah, oh, that's what we're getting like now. It's all smart motorways. But on this part, there were 2 lanes, and then you had the hard shoulder going all the way around. So as I'm coming around this spur, and I'm on the A666 of all road names, coming round to go onto the A580 that takes you right into Manchester city centre. As I'm just before I hit this bend, there's a clear blue sky, no clouds. I just seen a metal object in the sky. It's a couple of miles away. I couldn't judge the size of it. It could have been 100 foot, could have been 10 foot, but I just know I've seen it. So say it's there, it zipped across the sky and made. I'm just thinking, I always get the colours the wrong way around. So it was there, it just zipped across like that, faster than I can do that. It made like a fire engine red streak, redder than ET's hoodie, and put it that way. Just went straight across, stopped. No, it didn't. It did a blue, electric blue colour streak. Then it stopped. Then, so that was horizontal. Then a vertical red thing that kind of looked like that, but shorter. But it did the blue. Then the red thing opened. Then as wherever it went, it just then all closed, and that was it. and I had to pull up on the hard shoulder because I thought I was going to be sick.
Wow.
Because of how quick and how it happened, just like that, like out of nowhere. And that was probably about a mile from where I'd seen that first UFO when I was a kid.
Right. So do you think it went into a portal or something like that?
That's what I believe. It was. I was talking to. We had Jody Cook on, North American Dogman Project. I was talking to him about it. Oh no, he was talking about something. So I told him this story. He's like, it sounds like it went into a portal, opened a portal and went through. But then nickname said, could it have been a cloaked ship that had opened up and it's gone inside like the mothership and then gone? Either way, I think it's pretty awesome. And the fact that I had to stop driving because it made me feel sick.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing, there's no warning when this stuff happens. It just happens.
Yeah.
1 minute you're just doing your own thing, and the next, wow. And then straight away, as fast as it's come, it's gone again. And what am I supposed to do now?
Some people like wait a lifetime or don't even say anything like that in their lifetime. Yeah. And it's like you're having all these experiences. So there must be something like obviously watching you or letting you see these sort of things.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen an ET as such, but I think I actually have.
Right.
I forget things that have gone on, and it's not until someone says, oh, what about this one? Because I do everything on video, so I've not got anything wrote down. Yeah. Everything that I remember is in my head, and if I remember something else and something gets deleted to make way for the new thing, so I do forget a lot of stuff. And my memory's shocking anyway. But yeah, I think if I've seen an ET or a humanoid type entity, then I've possibly seen two that I know of, that I can remember.
Right.
So.
What were they like?
Right. So this is the thing. People slate Milton Keynes, but a lot of the stuff that I had going on happened in Milton Keynes in the shopping centre. So I was with a group of people and we stood outside McDonald's. It's Saturday afternoon. It was really, really busy. I hate shopping, and I hate going in like busy places. I'd rather go at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody about, and then just take my time going round. So we're deciding what we want from McDonald's, and and then I kind of like got distracted because there was free, even though it was really busy. You know when you have the little kiosk between the shops where you've got like Sky and Vodafone and all that kind of stuff. You have the little photo stands and that. Well, there's one that it's been there for years, and it's selling Sky and doing your upgrades and all that. And where that was, just behind it, I noticed 3 people. So, do you know the hairy bikers?
Yeah.
So 2 guys look like them, but were slightly a bit taller. And then there's a woman stood in the middle of them. So these guys were probably, how tall are you, Michael?
I'm about 5'9".
Right. Oh, so you're the same height as me. So I reckon these guys were probably 6'1". There's a woman stood in the middle. She must have been at least half a foot taller than them. She had bright white hair. Like, do you like ice cream white? It was like that. And the skin was pretty much the same as well, like the colour of this shelf.
Right, really pale.
But she had real, like, proper blue, like crystal blue eyes.
Wow.
So she stood out. So I thought, oh, she looked like a model. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, what's she doing there with them 2? It just didn't make sense. And they were stood in a group, but she wasn't, because at this point I'm watching what's going on. because I'd already decided what I was having from McDonald's, same as they always have, so that didn't matter. So I was just waiting for the others to decide. So I'm watching what these three are doing, and I don't know if there's anyone else with them. There were other people stood about. See, she wasn't talking, but them two, they were talking, but I can't remember who they were talking to, whether it was each other or another person. It was just, when it's something that's out of place that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It was one of them moments. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And I turned back to my mates and that to say to them, can you see this? And they're still all, at this point, they was virtually arguing about what they was having to eat. So I thought, not bothering. As I turned back, the three of them had gone. Now, where I was stood, they would either have to walk up and along or down and past in front of me or down the side of me. They were the only three ways in or out. So even though I'd only turned around for like a second, I would have seen them and gone. Three of them were not there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm.
So, are you one of these people that believe that there's more than one species, shall I say, of extraterrestrial?
Definitely, yeah, 100%. But
Definitely.
now this is. Can I just do a little add on to this? So one of the recurring dreams that I keep having, one of the dreams that I kept having at the time, was there was these 3 or 4 guys in blue boiler suits, like blue overalls, like Jason out of Friday the 13th, but it was this colour blue. So do you know the images at the bottom where it's got our names under the stream? It was like a baby blue colour. And they're walking up and down in this shop, right? But they weren't, it was like gliding. Didn't see the feet on the floor, they were just like gliding up and down. Now, the guy, so these are like big beards, obviously hair, and there's like dark hair going grey. He was older, probably late 50s, early 60s. Now, the guys that were there, or the guys that were in the dream, could have been the same people.
Wow.
And then about 4 or 5 months later, I'm driving through Bedford, where, do you know where the Bedford hangars are? You got 2 big green hangars. They do a lot for filming there. In The Dark Knight, Batman, you can see the two. That's where this was.
Right.
So I'm driving past the side of that, and out of nowhere, there's this bloke. I was on the phone to my mate, and this bloke, the same guy that was in my dream, I don't know if it's the same guy that was in the shopping centre, in the same colour blue overalls, with a beard and everything. He was at least 6.5 foot tall. I'd say he was touching 7 foot, and he's just walking down the street, but he had no emotions about him. Right. He's just walking straight, and I'm driving past, and I'm like literally climbing out the window to get nearer to him, and it didn't have any effect on him. You know when you know someone's saying that, you turn quick like that?
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing like that from him.
Wow.
And I'm like, can't believe it. That was who was in the dream, and possibly who was with that woman at the shopping centre.
Wow.
So very strange. But
yeah, it certainly is.
But then I'll have years of nothing. Years of nothing happening.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. So obviously you do work with the paranormal and stuff like that, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
Right. So go back to the paranormal. If you could investigate anywhere, where would it be? Where's your dream location?
It'd have to be Skinwalker Ranch, I think.
No, definitely.
Or the TNT area in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, Mothman.
Yeah.
I'd say they're them to top of the list.
Yeah. For me, I would say it would have to be somewhere like the Tower of London, but that's never going to happen.
you never know.
Yeah, you can always hope.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So do you see a difference between ghosts and spirits at all, or do you think they're just the same thing?
See, that's a difficult one. I think a lot of things that we see that we presume are ghosts or spirits aren't actually, because I think it's more to do with the movies than anything else. What we perceive as a ghost or a spirit is, we're told, it's the not the afterlife, but the soul or the spirit of a person, a human that's died.
Yeah.
But I always think, well, what if it's not that? What if you're seeing what we think is a ghost, but then they're looking at us and they're seeing us the same way? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, like sort
So
of a
we're
time
both
slip
looking
type
at,
of thing.
yeah, because I know I've heard people say they've seen something and they're looking back at them the way they're looking at you. So you're both as confused as each other. What if their timeline and their veil, realm, what dimension, whatever you want to call it, is running parallel to the one that we're in now? And is like, there's a bit of a crossover. So you see them at the same point in time for them few moments.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see like ghosts and spirits personally is like ghost is something that doesn't have any reactions. It's like
Yeah, like a residual.
yeah, exactly. And
Like a recording.
spirit is like obviously like somebody's aunt, your uncle, and that trying to like get through to you, or
Yeah.
intelligent responses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way I see it anyway.
Yeah.
So have you ever used a medium or a Ouija board or anything like that in any investigations?
No, never used a Ouija board. I'm
Right.
still very, very reluctant to use one.
Right.
I'm not even. I'm not even allowed to bring one in the house. So
My
you
best
are
friend's
not
like that.
having. You are not having one of them in here. If
I've
that
got
comes
one.
in, you're going. Is what I got told.
I've got one as part of my kit, but it's a self-propelled Ouija board that was made by Drew Bartley. And one of my team members, Leslie, will not even get in the car when I've got that with us.
Really? Yeah. Have you used a Ouija board then?
I've never used the Ouija board. I've set this one up, but I've just left it. I haven't actually tried to use it or nothing like that.
Yeah. So. I've used a pendulum.
Yeah.
I've not done it for a while, but I used to do quite a lot. I do try. Apparently, it's my spirit guide. I'm not 100% convinced that who I'm talking to is a person that they say they are. It's not someone that I know. It's someone from. Excuse me, I've got it all wrote down, but it's someone from like 300-400 years BC. But when they give me their date of birth, and then when they told me how old they was when they died, it didn't make sense. But then I thought BC, you go the opposite way.
Yeah.
So when I worked out on the calculator, it was spot on. And I couldn't have worked it out in my head, so it couldn't have been me doing it, even if I wanted to.
Wow.
So that was quite freaky. And the name that they give me, I'd not heard before. So I'm like, and then they told me what country they was born in. And I looked up on the internet this name in this country, and it's a very popular name in that country.
Right.
I think Geno, and it's a Portuguese name. So I didn't do any. That's the only research really that I've done. I didn't do any research until I got all the information from the spirit guide, and then worked it out, and it seems legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not, because you don't know who it is. I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% convinced they are who they say they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Understand that. Here's another question. Do you think that ghosts fade over time? Like start off like a vibrant colour, like more real, and then as they go on, they fade and turn into like white or grey or see-through? What do you think of that theory?
Possibly, because then I suppose if you're, as they say, in limbo, like waiting to go to the next level, or next stage of your existence. If you're not finished doing what you need to do, maybe that's why you get some of them hanging around, or they might not know that they've passed over, so that's why they're there. So I think you've got that side to it as well. Sorry, 1 second. Right. I suppose if they do start fading, is it because they have moved on? Because if you think about it, however long life has been on Earth, how many billions of just humans would there be, and how many spirits would you be seeing if they was all still here?
Yeah, exactly.
So there must be some crossover at some point, whether it's right at the beginning, it could be 100 years later. It depends. I think it depends on the purpose of that person or that spirit, what they're there for.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you never really see like a spirit of a caveman or anything like that, do you really, when
no,
you think about it?
no pirates or anything. Nothing exciting.
No.
Because you do get a lot of Victorian ones, so there must be some sort of period where then that starts changing over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
So we have a good question in the chat. It's one Madman C for all three of
That's
us.
my cousin.
Oh, okay.
He's called Andy as well, just to complicate things.
No worries. But he has a question to all three of us. Which one subcategory of the paranormal is the one that fascinates you the most, and why? I'm guessing by subcategory, he's talking like ufology, cryptid, spirit.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle with answering that one because I'm into quite a bit of it. I'm into obviously ghosts, well, paranormal, UFO, and cryptids. So it's a hard one for me to answer. But yeah, what about you?
Go on, Michael.
I'm kind of like you, Cal. I'm into the ufology, the spirits. I'm starting to get more into the cryptids. I wasn't in the beginning, but I'm starting to get my interest piqued by some of the cryptids that people ask me about.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I've just got to say hello to Stephen because I haven't said hello to him yet.
Oh yeah. Hello, Stephen. I think mine is going to be either cryptids or fae.
Right.
Because I've always been like with the goblins and fairies and all that kind of growing up in like a lot of, I suppose, kids' books and like TV shows and films. I suppose you got like Peter Pan, like with Tinkerbell and all that. I'm trying to think of a goblin movie. There must have been goblin cartoons when I was growing up.
There was a film called Legend with Tom Cruise in where they had little goblins and stuff like that and the devil in it.
Oh,
I
right.
remember that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, because it's like I've got 5 gargoyles in my room. So things like that have always interested, because did someone just think, oh, we'll have these and they'll become a thing, or was it a real creature that does exist?
So I'll be honest with you, Andy. I didn't say fae because I kind of consider fae part of the cryptids. So do you separate them?
Kind of, only because they're more, I suppose, more humanoid than a lot of the other cryptids. Other than obviously like the grey aliens and like the alien type species, but then like I know you've got Bigfoot and Sasquatch and Yeti as well, which are quite apparently human-like. But then you've got I'm trying to think, what's it, so you got Dogman. I'm trying to think of the one the thingy monster in the marshlands over in your side, Michael? Flatland monster. Is it Flatland monsters? But then were they like alien type cryptids? I don't know. And then Mothman, which is my favorite. Out of all of them, is my favorite. So I don't know.
And we had the werewolf.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I always keep Fae separate to cryptids as such.
Yeah.
It's just something I've always done. I don't know why. I think just because Fae, like, they're the little people, aren't they? Like, you got the leprechaun, goblins, elves, pixies, gnomes, fairies, and they're Space Cat just put Flatwoods Monster. That was it.
Wow. Anyway, I've just noticed the time there. Andy, could you tell us, with the viewers and everything, where we can find you?
Yes. So the YouTube channel is so there we go. I'll kind of cheat a little bit.
Put it in the chat group.
There we go. So that's the YouTube channel and TikTok channel. The links are pretty much the 12th dimension or the 12th dot dimension, depending which one you look for. Then you've got Flying Solo, both YouTube and TikTok. If anyone wants to email me regarding any of this, it's andy@flyingsolo.uk. Simple as that. And then the Facebook group is at the moment it's Flying Solo into the 12th dimension. I just thought I had a funny ring to it, but after the 28 days are over, I'm going to change it back to 12th dimension. So, but that's the logo for everything anyway. It's just that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if you I was gonna say, if you go onto the YouTube channel, all the links are in there anyway.
Brilliant.
So.
Right. Anyway, just want to say thank you very much for coming on the show. It's been amazing. I've basically had a list of questions talking about the paranormal, but obviously it's been fascinating talking about them, obviously UFOs and encounters like that. So, and
sorry,
just want to. No, it's been brilliant. It's good when you like change things up. But just want to thank everybody that's actually been in the chat. It's been absolutely fantastic. And thank you to Michael again for being my co-host this week. But I'll pass it over to Michael now.
Thank you. And Stephen, I love you to death, man. I love that. He commented when he first met me, he thought I was cryptic. a beautiful beastly man. You're awesome. Thank you to everyone in the chat group for chatting and giving us such great questions. And if you wanted to, Kel, we can go a little bit longer where there's nothing on behind us. If you want to ask some more questions, or we can stop here and stop on the high note.
I've actually got something to do after this, so I mean, I would love to, but I mean, we can get Andy back on another date if we can.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Is that all right with you? That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. But yes, thank you very much.
No, thank you for asking me.
And it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to talk for once.
I find it much easier being like in like interviewed than more it is interviewing, because I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to ask.
I think it's easier to do it from your end.
Right.
It's easy to sit here and talk about things that have gone on, but as I'm talking, I'm trying to remember like what happened and the details and all that. So that's why a lot of the answers are like really long answers, because I want you to get a picture. Because as I'm telling it, I'm like reliving it. So I want you guys to be able to try and kind of see what I seen at the time and how it went.
Yeah.
So you've got a better picture of what's gone on.
Yeah. Well, now that I know, like, obviously what you've like went through and stuff like that, I'll have a whole load of different questions to ask you next time.
Yeah, ask anything. It's fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So Joe's got something for you, Andy.
Yes. Well, you're coming on Flying Solo, aren't you?
I am on
Yes.
the 15th of February.
Yes. Is that that's a Wednesday, that one, isn't it?
That is a Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, can I just plug my thing for tomorrow night?
You can
Yeah, of
plug
course.
away.
So tomorrow we've got Rob Demarest coming on from Ghost Hunters International. So he's going to be on talking about. I think we're doing conspiracy theories and fairies and that. So, well, that was a good segue, wasn't it? I was just trying to think what we agree was. Yeah, we're doing conspiracy theories and fae and Failar and all that. So,
Wow.
thank you for that.
Excellent. Right, Michael, do you want to finish up then?
I will. And just before that, though, Kel, Space Cadet Lottie has a message for you. He says you did a great job. Lass, well done.
Oh, thank you very much. That's appreciated.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Steven's asking, what's our agenda for 2 weeks from now at FWMB? Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna plug this. I'll talk to you offline about this, Steven, but in December we gave away an investigation, and so we're gonna be doing that Saturday night at the Fort Walters military base. So Steven was one of our winners of that investigation. So he'll be coming in to do that. And in 2 weeks, when we're back on this show, Kel and I will be talking with Ray Savino. So stay tuned for that. And let's see. Any projects coming up for you, Kel?
No, I had an investigation on Monday, so that's going to be my last one for a while because it was a freezing cold. I was with psychic medium Craig Morris and his manager, as well as my old team leader, Drew Bartley. So we had a really good night, but I haven't been through the footage yet, so I can't see what I found yet. So, it was interesting though, but I'm sure we'll talk about that at a later date.
Awesome. So thank you all for coming on, and thank you again, Andy, for coming and chatting with us.
Anytime.
Thank you very much.
We'll definitely have you back on.
Yeah.
And so to send this one off, Kel and I want to thank everyone. And if you're going to go out investigating, be safe, have fun.
Brilliant. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.